Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. I was watching a video about the exaltation of Jesus Christ and why that's so important. So I figured I was going to put some things in the description box about why that's so important. Many people actually don't understand what's happened ever since the 12th century all the way up to present day. So I was piecing together history and piecing together everything that has to do with everything from the 12th century to the importance of the 14th, 15th, and 16th century, all the way up throughout time. I made another video prior to this called In Detail, but I wanted to go further into it. Many of these things actually don't get the dissection that they should when you actually go into these things, especially with the Catholic institution. They really lie to their flock about everything, I noticed. From hiding cases of, men sodomizing children or the altar boy or, anything like that, to the billions they actually spend on hush money and victims cases where they actually give reparations, but that's actually, it's very moot when someone in a church corrupts a child and then tries to dish out money. It's almost making the situation like you're making that innocent child, you're destroying their heart, mind, body, and spirit with abuse. Then you're giving them money for it, and that doesn't ever take the pain away. With a lot of these cases, they play hide the pedophile, and whether it's deacons or cardinals, whether it's in Germany or whether it's in Norway or the US, all these things actually, they have a pattern to them. And I was noticing a lot about how the Catholic institution got into everything. So religious persecution, I've spoke on that many times, but no one thinks about how the Electoral College is Catholic. Most of the presidents are Catholic. There are magistrates that are Catholic. And it's almost like a way of them having a chess piece on the board in a certain place. It's pre-organized. And Donald Trump mentioned that before. He said the actual Electoral College was corrupt. And they tried to say he was cheating during his administration in order to be president. But if you have a one-sided organization that's wanting you to be Catholic and you're not Catholic, or for instance walking into a courthouse and a magistrate does not recognize the Constitution because of their oath of office, which puts them in the realm of the British accredited registry in order to be an equal entity, which causes a conflict of interest. And that actually is a way of them keeping you under duress when you actually enter the courthouse. It's almost like you're surrendering your rights, and then they try to get you to lawyer up with a lawyer. So you're passing your voice off to someone, which is not upholding the Constitution, because the Constitution says you have the right to speak for yourself. And these things come in threes. The Emancipation Proclamation, Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution of the United States that says you are no longer a slave. You can speak for yourself. You shouldn't be under duress. There shouldn't be any kind of duressful situation. You're not surrendering any rights. You shouldn't have to say you don't surrender your rights or don't release your rights. When you enter a courthouse, in most cases, you have to show ID. And then there are cases of actually forged documentation, missing documentation. This has happened with even Ted Gunderson's situation, where he had a court case and he had 5 envelopes, and all the envelopes that he took to the courthouse had no evidence whatsoever inside of the envelope. So that proves collusion as well as obstruction of justice. And if you look at agencies and bureaus like the CIA and the FBI, a lot of them won't let you join unless you are a Catholic. And it is very political. When I was looking through case sightings for a lot of these situations, whether it's sodomizing a child, whether it's a priest getting moved around, like for instance, Pope Benedict, he actually resigned from the Catholic Church as Pope because he was being taken to court for pedophilia and sodomizing a child and molestation. Now, there's conflict of interest everywhere. And then when you look at all the things going on, that's why a lot of magistrates are disbarred, because they have a vested interest. And I've got this other playlist called Pedophiles Everywhere, and it shows the long lineage pretty much of what's been going on in the Catholic Church, having to do with Freemasons, which spring from the United Kingdom. And even Queen Elizabeth II, her family lineage, I mean, that's even falsified. They tried to say that she was related to Muhammad, and that's false. She's related to Vlad Tepes. She's the 16th great grandniece of Vlad Tepes Dracula. And further on down the line, she was actually found guilty for her and her husband. There were 6 court judges that found her guilty for the murder of those native children in Canada. And they were trying to say that she had immunity because she was royalty, but that's just not true. That charge is actually still on her to this day. And when you look at all the legal avenues where they have all the evidence they need, it's someone always inside of the courthouse or inside of the justice system that is actually giving them a